I count to 3, and we both say our rating out of 10 for Barbie, and
Uh-huh.
then we do the same for Oppenheimer. Okay.
Sure.
First Barbie. Okay.
Sure.
3, 2, 1, 6.5.
Come on, bro.
What
No, okay,
the
so
hell, bro? 9 for
Okay,
what?
let's do Oppenheimer.
Okay,
and then
Oppenheimer. 3, 2, 1,
7.
9.2.
Okay, there's a logic behind
We're
it.
on opposite ends of the spectrum, bro.
So we watched the movie together, and
Yes, both of them.
and this is not a fake opinion for podcast itself. I was straight up telling you after the movie finished.
Yeah.
My reviews in Barbie and
No, when you told me
Oppenheimer.
that this was your review in Barbie, I thought this guy's just like recency
Just-
bias.
no.
Let him sleep for 3 days. He's gonna wake up and realize.
I have maintained the same
Yeah.
barometer for my judgment since this day one.
Yeah.
Story, acting, and originality.
But
Okay.
what is original about this movie?
So
bro?
so this is my criteria,
Yeah.
which I wrote down for the podcast.
Yeah,
Story, Oppenheimer, I knew the story. It's nothing.
Can't blame him, bro.
No.
yeah.
But you can judge the movie based on stories, though.
Yeah.
They could have spiced it up like Oppenheimer dies.
How much more spiciness do you
No,
need,
'cause
bro?
I think my anticipation for Oppenheimer was I looked up every single possible YouTube video. Days out, I was
Yeah,
watching Oppenheimer 40 minutes. Why is this movie going to change the industry?
Yeah.
Everything. With Barbie, I just came in with this 10-minute interview.
You didn't have any preconceived notions about Barbie.
I saw a video about the set itself. I think it was an Architectural Digest or something else. Margot Robbie did a whole set breakdown.
Uh-huh.
And they also dressed up Barbies, all the main 6 Barbies.
Yeah.
They dressed different versions of dolls.
No,
on
but
the
what is
childhood.
original about this?
No, but story was something I've not seen before. Oppenheimer, I knew what's going to happen. Story, Barbie wins.
So you haven't seen any like feminist type movies before?
No,
like
I
you've
haven't.
avoided
This
those?
is my first one. So
Okay.
Barbie takes story.
Yeah,
Second was acting. Acting, Oppenheimer.
for
For
sure.
me.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
me.
yeah,
So
yeah,
we are 1-1 now.
Yeah.
Then third is originality.
Because you've never seen a feminist movie, that's why you're going with
So
Barbie.
from my criteria,
Yeah.
2v1.
Yeah. For like, I look at slightly different things. Like,
Sure.
it may be dependent upon like more so like feeling I got while I was watching the movie. With Barbie, there were 6 boys. We were just cracking jokes between each other. We weren't really paying attention to the movie at all. So
Speak
it
for
didn't
yourself.
like keep my
Yeah.
attention necessarily.
See, I think you came with a misogynistic,
Maybe
big,
I am misogynistic.
big chauvinist mindset.
Yeah.
And so for you, everything seemed like you
okay.
found issues with everything.
I find issues with
No,
everything.
With Barbie, because you came with a mindset this movie is
No,
wrong.
I had no preconceived notions about it. I just wanted like something. When it comes to originality, I've seen these type of movies before.
Mm-hmm.
There's been
such as
like Mean Girls, Little Women,
sure.
like movies about like female protagonists and then how they deal with like opposite gender issues, blah blah blah, amongst themselves, how they have issues and stuff like that. I've seen these movies before, so it wasn't anything. And I've spoken to many women, and none of them like Barbie that much.
Did they?
I had 2 colleagues that I spoke to, and I was like expecting them to be like, "Oh yeah, Barbie stood up for us," and blah blah
okay,
blah.
now,
And
so
they were like,
we'll
too
go
much-
into
too much
we'll
gender
go
issues.
into those issues later.
yeah.
But from a story point of view, Oppenheimer loses for me.
Okay, for you, useless. For
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I had similarly read up on it.
Okay, one thing that annoyed me was Cillian Murphy. Bro, why is this guy depressed? You made this bomb, big ass bomb. You know what's gonna happen?
Murphy, bro, he was playing Robert Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
That guy was depressed.
why was Robert Oppenheimer so depressed? He knew what he made. Why was he so sad about it? Like, what
Okay,
was
that is
surprising?
one thing which people have picked up on, that this guy, at the start of the movie, he appears very narcissistic. He's pushing people around, my idea, not your idea type of thing. And then when he builds it, so in a way, like, there is no good characters in the movie. You're not meant to feel sorry for Oppenheimer. I feel actually much worse about him because it kind of feels like he's putting on a facade that I'm sad now all of a sudden, blah, blah, blah.
Suddenly
Yeah.
people died. Oh
Like,
shit.
all these
no,
people died
unlucky,
and
bro.
I'm like going through the trouble. But obviously he was narcissistic in building the bomb, that I am creating this super amazing thing
And he
no one
said
else
this
can do.
famous dialogue, like, I am death or whatever.
He stole it from Bhagavad
Bhagavad
Gita.
Gita. But was it before he made it or was it after?
He
bomb.
quoted it after, I think, but in the movie,
They kept saying.
the way they showed it, I think wasn't. He read Sanskrit in lead up. Obviously, he was reading it as a kid, or not a kid, as like a student
Adult,
while he was studying.
Communist dog.
No, not from a communist dog.
No, I'm
like,
just recalling that scene where he was with the communist chick and she
yeah,
was
yeah,
going
yeah,
through
yeah,
his.
yeah. That I don't think so happened in real life. Obviously, no one's reading.
The chick was fine. I don't think he would have pulled it off as a geeky scientist.
Okay,
Or was
this
he a
is-
playboy guy?
What?
Was he?
No, I don't know, because they kind of depicted in a movie that he's all this like wrist guard, like multiple women
sure.
pulling and whatever. Communist chick is like fully falling in
Taking
love
some
with him.
time off to take care of.
Yeah, and
Yeah, yeah.
in real life, I'm like looking at him. I'm like, who's gonna really engage with him like this?
I mean, yeah.
And I doubted
sure.
it.
No, I doubt it too. Yeah.
So maybe Christopher Nolan was just trying to
raise him up.
raise him up
Yeah,
even
for
more
sure,
than needed.
yeah.
So yeah, like there are obviously in the Oppenheimer movie, there is no good guys. Like every one of them is a bad character. There is no like good character in it.
No, I think he was alright. Matt Damon's the one. Like
No,
he
no,
was.
but he's a general, bro. He's
No, but
creating war and stuff.
Fundamentally, at heart, he was a decent guy. He said his grievances with Oppenheimer
Yeah,
in the testimonial thing.
yeah.
But then he said he trusts him to do the right thing.
No, but at the same time, they were looking to destroy countries by
No,
dropping
but
a
that
bomb
was
on
just self-determination. It was because if Okay, so this is a joke I learned of online. This is 4chan. Oppenheimer was an inventor. He was a big fan of rice cookers.
with it being a Christopher Nolan movie, there was already a lot of hype on it.
I have an issue with this too.
Christopher Nolan.
No, because before the movie started, you said this is going to be Godfather of a generation.
No, I didn't say it could be. There's a difference between could be and it will be.
The way you said it, it was pretty heavily implying this is the greatest movie, one of his best works. For me, which I don't think it is.
Okay, for me, it is a top 25 movie of all time. Okay,
sure.
And there's millions of movies that have been made in history. For it to be my top 25, it is up with the all-timers in my opinion.
Sure. Fair.
But for someone else, even if it's in the top 100, that is still pretty big.
I think
movie.
It's not better than his Batman movies.
For sure, yeah.
What's the other movie he had? Shawshank.
Interstellar. No, Shawshank wasn't.
It wasn't his. Nah,
Interstellar.
Was his? Yeah.
Memento.
Prestige.
Prestige.
Yeah, I'd say I would rank
Inception.
this. Okay, I'd rank number 6 or 7
for his movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's like a top 3 movie of his.
Okay.
Easily.
Sure.
Like Dark Knight. This Interstellar. Like.
So we agree that there was an exaggerated claim.
Yeah, it wasn't The Godfather for sure. Have you seen The Godfather?
I haven't.
Okay, you don't get what I mean.
No,
but yeah, Godfather was like a just.
I watched Scarface, so is it count same thing or not?
Not the same thing.
Sure.
I didn't like Scarface as much, but Godfather is just like.
See, movie reviews are stupid in general.
Yeah.
Because people say Pulp Fiction was a sick movie. I've watched it many times.
We watched it together, I think.
I think we rewatched in
did
cinemas
we watch it
together.
In Hornsby, like together?
Nah, I don't think we.
Okay.
Maybe we did actually. Yes.
I watched it during the pandemic. I hadn't watched it all my life. I watched it during the pandemic.
I saw a rescreening at a cinema.
Yeah.
As a homage, but then I've watched the movie many times. I think we watched it together. Yeah. And I watched the movie many times individually just to sound intellectually.
Know
up
what's
there
happening.
with movies,
yeah.
and I couldn't find that crazy.
Yeah, same with me. Like it was like a 6 out of 10 movie for me.
Okay,
okay, maybe
maybe like you know,
but like,
I don't remember what the story was.
Yeah,
I just see random clips on YouTube shorts of different crazy incidents, and then that's pretty much the whole movie.
Yeah, well, but with like specifically Oppenheimer, like I think it being 3 hours long, everything that stuff I like. I like being engaged for long. But I get it why the other people don't like it.
Did you feel it was dragged or no?
No, it
wasn't for me, no.
I was just like, my attention was like on that movie. You know, when I said we were in Barbie, half the time I was on my phone. I wasn't really paying attention.
Because it was lewd scenes, bro.
What?
There was no sexy scenes in the Barbie
maybe
movie.
Maybe it's that.
Oppenheimer is like, it's like.
I needed something real. Yeah. So yeah, maybe it was that. But Barbie was just like a big promo for dolls, essentially. That's what we did. Dolls are back in the market again. So they just use it as a big marketing.
I haven't seen them in markets per se, but if you say
I don't have kids, bro.
Sure, that is true.
We're not women either, so that's why.
Do you reckon only women play with dolls?
For the most part.
Bro, this is kind of
even at the start of the movie, they said the same thing.
Did they?
But did you like care about like the clear feminist agenda they were trying to push?
Honestly, there was nothing redeeming by the end of it. I thought for what I thought was like, Kens are getting oppressed in this world.
Yeah.
By the end of the movie, there's going to be some kind of redemption. Like the Barbies realize Kens are hard done by.
Yeah.
But then at the end, Kens are like back to so this Ken guy went out.
Kind of just like one Ken was being played around with. The rest of the Kens didn't really care. It was just Ryan Gosling's Ken that like seemed to have an issue with everything.
No, but because agreed.
Yeah.
But all of them had a subservient role in relationships. Yeah. Like once Ryan Gosling realizes there is more power to men. Which is the case.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. He decontaminates all the guys.
I didn't think so. The movie was authentic, and like with Oppenheimer, like
Obviously, it's Barbie world, bro. It can't be real.
Yeah,
right?
so in the fantasy world, it wasn't being authentic to what it was portraying in the real world that is happening. If you get...
I think it was just warped views. Like, obviously, Ken saw what he wanted to see. Everything.
But the real world isn't like that.
Like?
There's depictions of it, but it's not like what they depicted. Like, men are just clueless.
So...
They don't necessarily care about anything. They just want the bottom line to make
but
money or whatever.
we're looking from a perspective of Ken right now. Because Ken came to this world. Anything...
Bro, if you talk to any logical women, if you talk to your mom about this, she wouldn't even agree with what was shown in Barbie.
No, I agree with you.
And those are real women we speak to. I'm not talking about some feminist sitting online talking about these things. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about our sisters, our mothers. Do you think they really act like this? Like Barbie does? Or
no, obviously.
Like, do men act like Ken does? It is an over-exaggeration.
No, agreed. Yeah. So I think we're on the same page. Why are we?
So I'm just saying, like, it wasn't like really... what they were trying to show, like, this is how authentic women experiences are. They weren't even being authentic.
I think it was a satire. It wasn't meant to be a real thing. Because if it was, it's just too...
There was too many, like, plot holes as well in the movie. It wasn't a very good movie. I get what they were trying to show, but it wasn't a good movie, bro.
I think it was a better movie than Oppenheimer.
Because you just, like...
From the criteria I've established. From the criteria I've established. But from any other point of view, it was...
From an authentic point of view, which... like is a criteria for me. I didn't feel like Barbie was being authentic at all.
Sure.
But at the same time, I'll say Oppenheimer Barbie, it's not even the best movie I've seen this year. It was easily
What's
Spiderman.
better than this? Spiderman, okay. Yeah.
Not the...
But the thing is, Spiderman is a hidden gem. Like, most people don't realize this is animated. Like, they don't appreciate... Like, I've told many people...
It made 700 million, so I think a lot of people realize that it's a good movie.
Have you talked to people in real life that have watched it? Outside our friend circle? Because at work, I was trying to hype it up, but people like, yeah, sure.
I think, the older generation are not really into it, for sure.
But even our generation, yeah.
So they would know Barbie, they would know Oppenheimer. They wouldn't know Amazing Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man. Because for them, this is just a kid's thing.
Yeah. But I think there's a lot more nerds in the world than we realize. Like us, who are into comics and animation and stuff, who watch anime, hundreds of episodes of anime. There's a lot of people like that as well. So that was the best movie I've seen this year. So in comparison to that, Oppenheimer is not there.
See, Oppenheimer kind of made me realize, like, there's a lot of potential
for chaos.
Chaos. Like, what's your favorite chaotic events? Like, if you had to say, what's your favorite terrorist events?
Oh, this is a... Obviously, we didn't live through the atomic bomb. So in our life...
it has to be something we can relate to directly.
It has to be 9/11. I guess. Like, what is like a...
What else is up there?
Like a crazy event that took place and you can't believe.
See, for me, the Lynn Cafe was up there.
Yeah, but that was like what the world doesn't know.
Like,
about
no one
that.
knows about it. Like,
but that was like low-key fascinating to like. Me and my sister stayed up like watching that.
Were you guys proud of it? Like,
not proud, bro. What the hell
in a messed up way, like this is my guy, bro, like kind of thing.
Messed up way in the sense like
don't mess with me.
Something happening.
Don't look at me funny.
Okay,
sure.
Yeah, that
okay,
level.
Don't look at me funny, bro. Kind of
I was like, oh wow, something is happening.
Sure, but not from a appreciation point of view.
Nah, but I get your like fascination with like events. 9/11 was probably the biggest, and at a point, I'm surprised not a lot of people talk about like atomic bomb being dropped as like a big event. Like, no one brings it up. Like, I don't see many people talk about, like, we've had an atomic bomb drop.
Okay, now, so I looked up on, like, Nagasaki, Oppenheimer events.
Yeah.
And the movie, when it was getting screened in South Korea, people in South Korea were celebrating when Hiroshima got bombed.
Did they?
Yeah, so in the movie itself, when they was getting screened, people were celebrating when Japan was getting bombed. Because Japan
I know Japan was being a menace back then, but
Japan... Japan,
yeah.
Had a lot of...
Be careful, you're going there in a few months, bro.
Yeah, I am actually. But they were a menace, like this enslaves millions, I wouldn't say millions, but like...
They did a lot of killing in
Chinese and South Korea.
Yeah.
So they obviously have massive resentment against it.
Yeah.
So this person that was watching movie in South Korea, he's saying when Hiroshima was happening in the movie, everyone was just stood up and like started clapping.
That is surprising to know. But at the same time, like, that doesn't mean America doing it was justified in any way. Like, both people were in the wrong. Like, they both were countries at war, did messed up things in the whole period. I think no one came out good.
So I was watching a not a documentary, a YouTube video about
same thing nowadays.
Same thing now. It was pretty well made. But Japan, America gave fair warnings to Japan prior to actually bombing them down that you guys should fix your ways.
Yeah.
We have something very powerful. And it was more so a threat from USA to Soviet than to Japan itself.
No. First it was the Nazis. They wanted to make it big to drop it on the Nazis, but then by then Hitler had killed himself.
Yeah, so that's already too late. But
Yeah.
by the time they dropped it, it was mostly a threat to Soviet.
As a warning.
As a warning to Soviet that like you guys should mend your ways, because
Yeah.
this probably could be implication to them.
Yeah.
Because they tactfully dropped the bombs on smaller cities. The payload, I don't know if that's a word, wasn't meant to be this devastating
Yeah.
and this harm-inducing. So they tried to avoid the big cities. They didn't realize it's gonna be
Like it's fast stuff, like realistic fascination stuff like that. That's what made me interested in the movie Oppenheimer.
Yes.
Yeah, and I didn't get that from Barbie. But your point, like back then, like we don't realize as Pakistanis, Indians, or whatever, Hitler giving up and Hitler running out of money, Hitler pushing the war so far is what made the British leave Pakistan and India in the first place. That whole period of history.
That's got a big implication on us.
Yeah, so because like Hitler was just like, I'm gonna take this to my deathbed type of thing, just like he made the British waste so much money in trying to kill him off that they were like, we can't sustain living in Pakistan, India anymore. So they got up and left. That whole period,
so Hitler didn't do everything bad.
I don't think so. He was willingly doing it, but like his actions definitely left to some positive things for us.
Sure.
That we got
respect.
Under the cover of the British.
Good stuff, bro.
And then the same thing with the Soviets. Like they tried to create, obviously their nuclear power. They tried to use nuclear power, but they were very negligent with it. Chernobyl happened, stuff like that. So
all that Chernobyl, like I haven't watched the TV show. Have you watched it?
Watch it, but it's only 5 episodes.
But it's like 1 hour episode each, and
you watch anime. You watch that Indian scam show that was an hour long.
Which
as
one?
Well. The 90
Scam 92.
Scam 92.
Yeah,
like
it was
it's
nice
the same
one.
stuff,
Same thing.
and that's 10 episodes. You can get with 5 episodes. So and it's very well done. You would think like they would all have like a Ukrainian Russian accent. They speak in like fluent English. That's the only thing that is not authentic to the story in that stuff.
How come?
It's a BBC show, so they wanted to make it like understandable.
So they got a British accent.
They all have British accents, but they're meant to be Russian, Soviets, and like Ukrainian.
Does it put you off or?
Nah, it actually adds to it for some reason. I don't get it, but yeah, if you watch that, then you realize like that whole period of like atomic history where we stole to get like it all stemmed from Oppenheimer. Like had he not created it, that technology wouldn't have been shared with the Soviets.
And Pakistan probably would not be a country anymore. Because you would have been messed by India, bro. Like, army is pretty useless.
Easy, bro.
They've throughout.
I don't know if Allah was looking out for us or what, but we somehow got this nuclear power that a lot of countries around us treat us with some sort of like, oh, be careful with them. They could go off any time, blah, blah, blah.
Kind of like when people say volatile, I'm kind of happy. Like, shit.
We are definitely.
We are a menace, yeah.
But is it true that we sold that tech to North
Iran?
Korea?
Or North Korea?
How did North Korea get it, bro? Through China, I'm assuming.
Probably.
But we sold it to Iran for sure.
Iran, I think it was Pakistan, yeah. Nice one.
So we're spreading our
knowledge. No, obviously, bro, it's a shared database for everyone to learn and grow. Learn and grow.
That's what Oppenheimer wanted as well, because after he wrapped things up, he was like, we should share this with our...
Bullshit, bro.
That's when
just like
Truman was like, get this crybaby out of here, the president.
That was
like,
funny, though.
Because he's like, make a pact or whatever. But at the same time, like, Oppenheimer can't have any regrets about this. Because, like, if he should have realized, like
throughout the whole...
Yeah, like, what else are they making it
What
for?
was the place called? Los Santos? Or?
No, bro, that's
GTA,
bro. Yeah. Los Alamos.
Los Alamos, like...
New Mexico.
Like, his whole setup, like, over the years, he should have realized what's the end goal. Yeah. What is it going to do?
I don't think so. Yeah, he was being naive, bro. Like, to in his own head.
I think the movie just made him more romanticized, but then, like, this inner conflict.
Okay, let's end on the controversies that are surrounded this whole stuff. So
let's go, yeah.
When a lot of Indians are obviously pissed off with Oppenheimer because they depicted then holy text. Sanskrit is the holy text scripture, right? Yeah. Basically for them.
No, Sanskrit is the language. The holy text is Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita scripture for them?
Yes, it is. Like, so it's like our Quran.
Okay, so yeah, if someone was doing that with our Quran, we would be crazy mad as well. Yeah.
But thing is, it's a bit different though.
How?
Because they could like tantric massages and like hold this
like
Kama Sutra. Exactly.
Involved,
so I'm not sure like how Because for us, Islam is very clear about like, you know,
Never mix
we
these
like
two things. Yeah.
these two
Yeah.
things together.
Yeah.
But like you have like,
But I don't know if Kama
what's
Sutra...
the word? Lingam massages and
Lingam massages, bro. Is that a Vietnam thing, right?
Vietnam thing.
No. I don't think it's a Vietnam thing. It's a Buddhist thing.
I think it's a Hindu thing. Because Buddhism, Hinduism, it was a Hindu temple. It was a Hindu temple.
Bro, when she was explaining all that lingam stuff, I'm like, bro, what the hell is going on? Everything is meant to represent lingam somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
I'm
yeah.
like, okay, that's just a rock. She's
I
like,
think
nah,
she was
that's
just
lingam,
horny,
bro.
bro.
Anyway, but like, it makes sense why people were. But what I'm surprised about is a lot of Indians hated Barbie and they loved Oppenheimer, despite that. Whole
I don't think that was a major issue. The Sanskrit thing from maybe I'm coming from like.
Well, a lot of people are saying that
why they hating
India,
Barbie?
it doesn't really have that same affinity to that feminist like storyline.
Mhm.
That's why they purposefully avoided watching that. Some people are saying that.
That's
Or
base,
maybe
bro.
Oppenheimer-
That's good stuff, man. Honestly,
But you're going against everything you've said so far. But
that was just for the views, bro.
yeah, but Oppenheimer, like obviously, I don't know what they related to it more, but they clearly didn't watch Barbie and avoided watching Barbie and watched Oppenheimer for that reason. Yeah. Yeah.
Was
and
it
then I've spoken to a few females. They were like, yeah,
Bro, you speak to females. Wow.
I have females around me. I
Yeah,
can't do
bro.
much about
Yeah,
it. But
bro.
like,
Yeah, nice one. Nice
said,
work.
they said like Barbie, it did push too much on the feminist agenda a bit.
I think if they kept it satire, it would have been fine. But I think it was satire. It wasn't serious. This is what my take is.
Except for two scenes.
Which is?
One with the creator, the Ruth lady that she meets, and then at the end she holds her hand. That scene obviously is in satire.
Yeah.
And then the scene where the America Ferrera woman gives a speech.
I think that was a lame speech. It went too long with alliterations. She could have kept it short and succinct, but like she kept going on and on.
She sounded like a Pakistani commentator, bro. Cricket. You know how they add like
lost track.
or like just bro, leave it at one point, bro.
Fabulous, fantastic.
More metaphors.
Yeah,
more
exactly. Like I was like,
much.
this is too much. Now.
But a lot of women, that's the only bit they resonated with. Like for them, it was kind of like, yeah, we get it. It's hard for us women, and let us have this moment type of thing. That's the only thing they related to.
Sure thing.
But
okay.
obviously we had a lot of fun.
So
I had a lot of fun watching.
Is
Barbie.
America Ferrera a big actor?
I've seen her in one other.
But she is nothing to. Because everyone's been naming her.
Not A-list. Margot Robbie is A-list.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Like everyone is naming her, and I couldn't pick her name up straight up.
You didn't know her previously. I didn't know her previously. I just knew her face.
Because we had a friend that mentioned America Ferrera after movie, and I was like, has to be her.
Yeah.
But like, I was like, is she big or? No, but probably not.
Actually, my favorite character in the whole thing was Ryan Gosling as an actor.
He was a good actor, man.
He played
was
Ken
decent.
very well. Like
the Asian guy, what's his name?
Simu.
He was a Marvel guy.
Chang-Chi or whatever it's called.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Yeah. He played good as well.
He was good too.
So we like the male actors in the movie anyway. But let's end on this then. If you had to pick one movie to watch again, like you just want to rewatch the movie, does Barbie make the cut or Oppenheimer?
Probably Oppenheimer.
Just because you want to understand what everything
I want to watch
potentially?
I want to watch the 6 scenes, bro.
What?
I want to watch the 6 scenes.
You can just watch that like on YouTube, bro. I'm
Nah,
pretty
bro.
sure they will be put up.
I
Like,
want
you
to
don't
watch
have to
it
sit
with the
through whole
boys,
movie
bro.
for
Like,
it.
you know?
What?
I want to watch it with the boys.
With the boys?
Yeah, of course.
Bro, what were you doing in that scene, bro?
I was looking away.
Bro, I was looking to the side.
Yeah. I was looking at my other friends and silently judging them. Like, what are you guys doing?
What are they watching?
Yeah, come on, man. Fine.
Well, do you think it was one of those scenes that was necessary?
Wasn't, bro.
They could have just showed it off screen.
Okay, so this reminded me of something else. Yeah. So this is an Indian actor. He and actress were having a kissing scene. And there's some C-list actor and actress who wasn't that someone I knew.
Yeah.
And the director tried to show the actress how to kiss. And it was a
a male director showed a female
actress
how to kiss a guy.
With the passion, and she looked dead inside. So the subreddit was like, "Watch people die inside" or something like that. And she was just like, standing there with zero emotion.
How do you show someone how to kiss without actually doing it?
And he was doing it
to the guy,
to the girl. So it was just, I think he just wanted to make out.
I low-key want to see this, but at the same time, it's weird as hell to look up.
And it just came out on my Reddit, so I had to like obviously.
Your Reddit is like algorithm
all over the place,
all over the place, bro. Anyway, so I am Team Oppenheimer, you're Team Barbie. Let's revisit this in a few months and see if your opinion's changed. Let's watch a few other movies and come back to see if Barbie or Oppenheimer made the list or not. Anyway, this has been another episode of the Trash Talk Experience. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.